Okay. All got your characters all set up and ready?
Yep,
We're
I got
just all my
waiting
skills
to
done.
hit points and equipment. I guess we deal with them in a moment.
Yeah, that's the next bit. Your hit points, which is basically exactly what they are, as it sounds. That's how much damage you can take until you die, and that's basically the number 12 plus whatever your strength score is.
Oh.
So that's how many hit points you have.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Now, if you ever reach 0 or below on your strength score, you will fall unconscious. And then you have your original strength score in rounds until you die permanently. In that time, any other character could administer a medicine roll to try and help you out. But if they can't, or if they fail the roll...
It would have been nice to know this before.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been. But
I'll teach you how to read the rules first, right?
There we go.
There you go.
You've got a copy. You've got no excuse.
I know, right? And I've had it for ages as well. And I just didn't read that. But I never thought I'd get into a fight. Why would I need those?
I know. You're playing one of my games. Oh, I'll never get into a fight. Yeah. Read the room, Mark. Okay. Then you get equipment. For this particular job, you'll be getting a communicator each. So that's just a standard hand communicator, Star Trek style. You'll each get a medical pack. It's like a bum bag, and it's just a medical first aid kit. You'll get a hand scanner, which is kind of like a personal data machine. You'll get a +1 to any science rolls that you'll make. You get a pulse pistol each, which is like your standard energy blaster pistol. And then you can have either one of the two of these. You can either have a rifle, which is basically a larger pulse pistol, or you can have armor, and you can have either flak vest or a body armor. That's completely up to you. But whatever you choose, the pulse pistol, you've got that anyway. So put next to that, the damage is 1d6 + 6. And if you go for a blaster rifle, that's 1d12 + 6. Or you can go for either a flat vest or body armor. And the flat vest, just put next to that d4. I'll explain that later. Or you can go for body armor, and you can put that to that d6. But if you do wear body armor, it's a little bit restrictive. So it will reduce your agility and combat scores by 1 point.
And so my character steps away from the rifle. It's not me. I couldn't hit the inside of a barn.
So what do you want to go for, flat vest or body armor? I mean, you don't have to do either if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm going for a flak vest.
Okay,
yeah, I'm going for a flak vest.
Flat vest, yeah. Flat vest.
Yeah, I'm going to do flak vest.
Flat vest, brilliant. So you all got flat vest each. So it's the standard armor. Now what happens is, actually, let's quickly go through, now that you've got everything you need, we'll go through the rules very quickly. And the rules are very, very simple. Basically, if you want to perform an action that isn't an automatic success, and there's some doubt as to whether it will succeed or not, you roll a d12. And you need to roll equal to or less than your skill score. If you roll that number, then that's it, you succeed. If you roll over that, it's a failure. Your skill score is adjusted depending on how difficult the action is. So if it's a lot harder, then it'll be reduced. If it's easier, then it will be increased. Yeah, dead simple. As far as combat and everything else is concerned, everything else is done with opposed rolls. And the opposed rolls is any characters in conflict with each other, whether it's shooting at each other or whether it's punching each other in the face or hitting with a metal bar, whatever it is, it's always an opposed roll. And again, that's very simple. You roll a single d12, you add the relevant attribute, the relevant skill score to that d12 roll, and whoever rolls the highest is the winner. Okay?
Hey, John, quick question on equipment. So it says med pack and hand scanners give you a bonus. So it's whatever our skill is plus that one.
Plus that one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the med pack, you get 2 uses out of that as well.
Okay.
So that's it. The only difference is if it's a ranged combat and you're blasting away at somebody, the opposed rolls that you'll use is, as the shooter, you used your ranged combat skill. And as the target, to avoid getting shot, you'll use your agility skill. However, if you're not aware you're getting shot, or you're prone on the ground, or you're literally just aiming at something, it's just a standard skill roll equal to or less than. Unless you're standing right next to them, then it's an automatic hit. All right?
Yep.
As far as damage is concerned, everything is just a D2 up to D12 roll. You basically just roll your damage, and then that score is taken off your hit points. So when it reaches 0, then you need medicine rolls, otherwise you're going to die. And the armor that you're wearing, when you do take a hit, you roll that die score. So for the flat vest, it'll be D4, and then that number of points is reduced off the damage that you've taken. That's it. That's it. That's the rules. Dead simple. If you would prefer that the rule system has everything is roll high, because I kind of like the difference between the roll low for a normal skill roll and then roll high for an opposed roll. But if you'd rather everything roll high, then that's fine. All I do is just put in an automatic target number of 13, and then that's it. Then the rules stay exactly the same. So basically, you roll a d12, you add your skill score, and then the target number is 13. So it's up to you guys which system you'd prefer me to use.
Don't think I'm fussed either way, to
No?
be honest. If anybody else has a preference,
No preference.
No preference?
No.
should we just play as standard then?
Yeah, we'll play it as rules as written. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've used the target number system in the Department X and the Submerged games. Department X
Okay.
available now. So and Submerged is out. Will probably be out by the time this goes out, and that works nicely for them. But I kind of like the difference on this one, so we'll keep it as it is. And that's it. So that's it. That's your character creation. You've got 4 characters ready to go. You can name them whatever you want, within, of course, within taste reasons. But it's completely up to you. Who they are, what they are, where they're from, etc., etc. So a quick word about the background. It's set 100 years in the future, and they were hoping that the discovery of the singularity drive, which enables a vessel to travel anywhere at any point, in a certain light year range within 24 hours. They were hoping that would bring humanity together, but all it did was all the nations of the earth, obviously still at odds for whatever reason, and they took, oh bless you, and they took, you're welcome, they took all of their problems that they've got on Earth out with them to space, and basically just cut little slivers for themselves. So basically, every single nation that you know now is out in space with exactly the same issues, exactly the same problems, or a little bit slightly enhanced because it's the future. So there was a Cold War going on. They used antimatter bombs, which wiped out the entire surface of a planet. So an arms race began. Very much like the development of atomic bombs after the Second World War. So yeah, the Cold War began. People started building up their arsenals. They don't dare go into full-scale war, but they are doing the little bits of Cold War, and there's loads of star systems being used for proxy wars and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a bit of a rough and tumble place, but there's also lots of opportunity. And the people that they employ to do that are the explorers, and that's you people. That's the player characters of this game, if that's the direction that groups want to go in. And the explorers basically do all the legwork for the governments and for the nations. They do explorations, they go and take care of problems on other colonies, they do transport, cargo. They're sort of multitask so that they can travel in between the many planets that are in each nation and basically just keep everything ticking over and working. In this particular case, you have been employed to travel to Golf Alpha Tango. Golf Alpha Tango was recently discovered by the starship Coriolis. It could only leave a claim satellite, which broadcasts the fact that the planet is claimed, and the country that claimed it, and a whole slew of legal gibberish that basically says hands off, as it needed to withdraw due to engine damage. In a rush to secure the new world, the country of you people, whichever nation you decided to serve, has requested them to travel to Golf Alpha Tango and complete a preliminary 270-day survey until the Coriolis completes repairs and heads back to carry out a full 2-year exploration of the world. So basically you've been asked, look, we've got a bit of an emergency. Coriolis has had to be withdrawn. We're going to bung you on this ship, the, I don't know, DSV Bake-Off, whatever you've called it, and we're going to fly you out to the Alpha Bennett system, and you're going to drop there, and you're basically going to explore this place for half a year. You'll be paid handsomely, and good luck. That's it.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
All good?
Not at all.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay. Just a quick personal note. My visual inspirations for this game have been games like Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, that kind of thing. Whereas the technology is extremely sort of still very hands-on in many ways, but it's got this nice sort of clean aesthetic to it. So it looks sort of functional and industrial, but it's nice and it's clean and it's got good nice lines and nice designs and that sort of thing. So whenever you think of the interior of the ship or the interior of star stations and that sort of stuff, think of especially the excellent design work that you get on Star Citizen, because it's brilliant. And that's the kind of visuals I've gone for. But yeah, the Alpha Bennett system, it's got 4 planets in there. The second planet is the explored atmosphere world of Golf Alpha Tango. It's mountains and jungle mainly, and it only has 50% surface water. So it's quite rich, and so it'd be almost perfect for colonization. Now, every planet also has a planetary resources number, and the higher it is, the more desired it is. And it may cause problems. And the way the planetary resource numbers work is that if other people want that world, there's a good chance they might turn up and try and either take it from you or cause trouble. So you every year or every now and then you want to do 12, and if you roll the planetary resources number or lower, then there's going to be trouble. So the richer the planet, the bigger the target that it is. In this particular case, this one's a 6, and that's it. So you will get loads of survey equipment with this mission as well. You'll get 2 monitoring satellites, one to go in geosynchronous orbit over wherever you land, as for communications purposes, and the other one will orbit the planets and map it. You've got 2 2-seater air bikes, which are quite quick and nippy. You get some thick skin tents, which are like inflatable tents, which should protect you from the elements should you get caught outside. And you've already got your personal scanners. They do suggest that you wear breathing masks with filters on. You don't need an oxygen supply, but there are some bacteria in the air which they're probably going to have to do some sort of glands surgery and sort out vaccinations for. So they do recommend that you wear that. And in fact, if you don't wear one, you will lose 1 hit point per hour because the infection is like a poison almost.
Ooh.
So yeah, remember to wear it, and if you are wearing it, make sure it works. And that's it. I keep saying that's it. That wasn't it. That is it now. So thank you for your attention for the past half an hour. We've run out of time. Thanks for coming. No. So there you go.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Enjoy your flight, and please, Captain's got the seatbelt sign on.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, put your trace in the upright position. So yeah, it's.
Okay. Wow.
So that's it. As you're approaching the world, it is you've flown past a ringed gas giant, which is the 3rd planet in the system, and then a couple of hours later, you come over the surface, and the surface of the planet is thick with jungle growth, and all the way up to the shores of the few seas that it has, and the mountains can reach 1,000 meters or more. Now, the only safe landing spots appear to be close to the shore, near one of the shallow seas. The wide beaches offer very level landing sites. So, my first question is then, to get us into the game, is who's piloting and where do you want to land?
I'll be
Hey,
piloting.
we did need a pilot. Yeah.
Well, that was me because I said I got the piloting. But it's like, do we have
I
a
didn't
captain?
think of
Or
that.
I'm like, all right, we're just gonna park here.
As soon as you said,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the pilot, I thought, oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. I was like, hey,
This could have ended a lot
beach
quicker.
view is not always nice. I mean,
So yeah, you can land on the beach, which is very nice. It's almost tropical. It's not that hot, but it's quite pleasant. Which is be a nice, easy. It's quite a flat surface. But if you do want to land further inland and sort of clear yourself a landing place or try and find something inland, you will have to make a piloting roll to land safely.
Yeah, I said that we'd pilot in the beach right now, and we survey the area and find out like if it's a more location that we could find and do it that way.
Excellent. In that case, then let's have our first roll of the game. Can you roll a d12, please, against your pilot starship skill? You do get a +2 to your starship pilot skill because it's quite an easy landing, but you are landing under gravity that you never landed under before. So yeah, make your roll.
So, and I got to roll less than a 12.
You need to roll equal to or less than your skill roll. Yeah.
Okay, I got a 5.
A 5. And what was your starship piloting skill?
10.
Was it 10? Brilliant. Yeah, you bring you in quite nicely. You've got 2 moons ahead, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yes, you've got 2 moons in the sky, one of which is broken in half, which creates a weird kind of belt going around the place.
Ooh.
And yeah, you bring the ship in. You blow up lots of sand. The sand directly below you, you turn to glass as your thrusters, and you touch down smoothly, nicely, and without incident. The engines slowly wind down. Your ship, by the way, looks like a giant beetle kind of shape, with 2 legs sticking sideways out the back. But it's a good ship. It's a good multi-purpose ship. I can't even remember what I called it actually. That will be in the Starship supplement, which is also available now. Wink, wink. So yeah, it's cool.
Okay, I think, being scientisty, I might be excited to get onto this planet. So I'm will be waiting by the airlock. We're just waiting for somebody to give me the go-ahead to open the door and step out onto this planet.
Yeah.
Hopefully you remember your rebreather.
You might need to remind you. Yeah. And maybe that's it. Maybe he's that excited that he's actually forgotten it. And
this is amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, before we venture out into this paradise, who are our characters?
There we go.
Yeah.
Our character names.
Well, first of all, everybody thank the pilot for a nice, safe touchdown. The pilot's name being.
He's a gruff former naval pilot. His name is Vaughn Thompson. He what's also nice is that it's more aesthetic. He actually has a prosthetic left arm that he lost in a war.
Oh, nice. Good touch.
And it's, as I said, it's just like a regular arm, but it's a prosthetic. It's like it looks like a white fiberglass kind of arm that he uses, and basically he comes right there.
That's nice. Okay, that's a good touch. Nice one. Vaughn, his name, yeah?
Vaughn Thompson.
Yep, go on.
Okay. The scientist who's standing excitedly by the door, you all know him as...
He is Dr. Esteban Philip.
Esteban.
Yeah, he's a middle-aged fellow with grey hair, clean-shaven, a friendly face, calm demeanour. Yeah, but he is clamoring at the door a little bit excitedly, trying to, can't wait to get out onto this planet and have a good look round.
There's a strange smell of cookies wafting through the ship, and they've been baked by.
I didn't notice the irony of the name until I'd
Go on.
actually chosen it.
So
I'm bringing packed cookies, and I'm bringing the rebreathers for everybody. So I am the medical officer, Dr. Megan Payne.
It's like I didn't like the last shot she gave me in the arm. That kind of hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, the name checks out. Yeah.
Interestingly, I knew of an anaesthetist that worked at the local hospital called Dr. Cosham, which I always thought was fantastic.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so I'll be handing out the
Celebratory cookies. Yeah.
Yeah, they get a bag of cookies and the breather. It's like,
feels like a school trip.
Yeah.
And then sat in the co-pilot seat, humming softly to himself, is...
Yeah, there's a sketchy character. Everyone knows him as Imp. It's not his real name. Imp, I-M-P.
Okay.
That's most know him by that. Yeah, he's sketchy, kind of relies on his charm and cunning to get by. When that fails, then he resorts to the agility and strength.
Yeah.
Nice.
the crew know that yeah, he's got kind of a unknown, uncertain background. People are after him, not sure why or even who it is, and so getting into deep space for some security or possibly more trouble.
Very deep space, because like you're literally on the edge of the frontier now. This is unexplored territory. You're as far as starships can go. So yeah, whatever you're running away from sounds serious.
The space marshals don't know me out here.
Nice.
Space marshals, I'm writing that down.
Oh,
Yeah.
John, I had a quick question.
Go for it.
Assume it's like, we will be given basic survivals, supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Would it
Go on.
I'm sorry, would it assume that we have like something equivalent like a machete or something like that to
Yeah.
help us cut through the...
Yeah, no, that's no problem at all. Yeah, you'll have a well, it's kind of like a machete, but it's got like 2 points at either end, and it projects an energy beam which goes between the 2 points, and you can use that to slice your way through stuff. So, because they don't think the thickness is going to be the same as it is on Earth, so you need something a little bit more heavy duty, or at least something you can adjust of intensity to get through thicker foliage.
Like a beam cutter? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like
I
it
like-
is.
yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
All right, very nice. Yeah, you see me grab one of those, put it on the side of my belt. I'm like, yeah.
Big sigh of relief. Have a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've known each other for the past 24 hours now. You've been cooped up on board this ship. So, well, the ship's touched down. The boarding ramp is extended, but the inner airlock is still closed. Outside, it's a strange kind of a pinkish hue. It's getting the light from the star. What is the star? Oh, it's a standard G-type solar type star. But it's a strange hue, because the ring gas giant casts off quite a lot of light of its own. So it's sort of it's almost like a constant aurora borealis even in the daytime. So it's
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the moons at the moment are slowly dipping below the horizon. That smashed up moon, where it looks like something's hit it with quite a lot of violence. So you've got a massive clump of asteroids and rocks going around that moon. Then it thins out as it sort of disappears around the orbit of the planet. And just to let you know as well, the planet has a 26-hour day cycle with a very simple rotation. And then you've got 2 time periods of 11 hours of night and day, with an hour of each of dusk and dawn. So yeah, it's the planet itself is sitting quite straight in its orbit.
Okay.
I think we've got like a ramp or something that extends out from the ship that we're walking down. So I guess the first thing we would do, sensibly, would be to run a scan and see what's in the area. If there anything that any animal life that's larger than a human being, for example.
Basically, if you imagine a tropical beach, you've got the tree line at the top of the beach, and then behind there you've got mountains and all sorts. It's quite picturesque. It's quite New Zealand, but with tropical trees in the foreground. And then you've got a long, flat beach, and then literally you've got the ocean itself. It's almost immediate, and it's water, which is weird in itself. And you've landed on the beach with only a 2% incline, which is a 2-degree incline, which is pretty good. So everything's quite level. And outside, you've got this. I mean, you've scared away most things. I mean, everything alive on this planet's never seen a starship before. So everything's literally floods of the weird creatures, like giant butterflies with long, sinewy tails. They all blasted off in different directions. There was things on the water, by the looks of things, like almost like masses of tentacles. Like a snake sex ball, what's it called? And like a nest. Sort of like that, splashing around in the water, trying to get away as fast as it possibly can. So yes, but there's lots. The life form scanners are going crazy. Everything around you is alive for miles in every direction. Yeah, and you're getting a good signal from your geostationary satellite as well.
Okay. So I look back up the ramp and I just say that. Nice landing, Thompson.
He comes in, thank you, and you can hear him stomping coming through the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad, Thompson. I've seen better, but yeah, you got us here in one piece, so that's good. And then him pops on his rebreather.
First thing I'll do, I'm going to make my way over to the water's edge, I think
Oh,
probably start.
you're going to be the
taking
first person
samples
to
and
step foot on this new planet, yeah?
things. Yes, I am.
Okay. You open up the airlock. You get a rush of warm air. It's not it's
Yeah.
almost tropical. It'd be one of when you step off a plane in a hot country for the first time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. So you get this waft of air. A few internal alarms, like soft alarms, start to go off to say, "Oh, we've got a bit of a contaminant," but that happens every time with a new planet. It doesn't recognise the bacteria in the air. The filters will take care of that anyway. So so the door opens. You get that waft. You walk down the long ramp because the ramp is also the cargo ramp as well. And you get to the bottom and you step on the at the moment you're not stepping on sand. You're stepping on glass, smashed glass because you've basically torched the area.
Okay.
But walking down to the beach, as soon as you come out from underneath the protection of the shadow of the ship, it's hot. You're looking probably around about 22 degrees Celsius. So it's nice and warm. It's pleasant, and also the gravity. Did I put down the gravity?
Is it more than Earth?
There isn't any.
Oh no, you float off and die. The end. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that would be
That's
that
why you
would
have
actually
the-
be in the new way to do it. Wasn't expecting that one.
There we go. Next
That's
one.
why you max out on agility.
And you should have attached yourself to the ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't actually put down what the. Oh well, let's go Star Trek then. Yeah, so the gravity seems absolutely fine.
So aside from rebreathers, what do we? I'm sorry. Do we need? We have like light space suits, or we can just go out and
You can just go out in normal work suits. If you want to have the extra protection and wear a spacesuit, that's absolutely fine. The initial scans from the Coriolis didn't pick up anything bad, and a standard gland injection and a daily regime of pills will keep any sort of alien infections out of the way. So it's completely up to you. I mean, it's suggested that you wear your flat vests because it's a new world and you're introduced to an ecosystem which is completely alien to you. So it's recommended that you do wear them. But other than that, it's completely up to you.
Don't cut yourself.
Yeah. That's my job.
Yeah, the tetanus needles are this big. So,
That's what I say. Like I don't like needles. Like no, like needles.
Ooh, no, I'm right with you there on that one.
Yeah, I think definitely be taking everything I can in precaution. Just as extra little risk. I'll still take put the cookies and some goodies in my little knapsack or whatever I've got.
Yeah.
I won't go as far as getting the space suit, but I probably might actually wear some gloves if we have gloves separate.
Yeah, you've got gloves separately. Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah. You see my guy walks out. He he has like probably like military fatigue, kind of like a little worn out a little bit. A pair of goggles on, like big old visors for like sun protection. He comes with his pistol.
Yeah.
Knife on one side. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Imp gives him a look, heads down the ramp, pulls out the hand scanner, trying to detect, especially if there's anything too threatening close by.
There are large creatures. You don't get a definitive read. All you can pick up is the life forms, so you don't get any kind of image. But there do seem to be some large creatures around about 2 meters long up in the trees, quite far back from the tree line. And they seem to be jumping from tree to tree. And the trees themselves are strange. They're called arc trees. Well, that's what I've called them anyway. They're like a blue tree with a rubbery consistency, but they grow so high that they bend under their own weight, and then the top comes down, touches the ground, and then creates new roots. So you've got normal trees that are tropical, but then you've got these huge masses of these arched trees with loads of stuff growing off them, and it's quite a sight. And these creatures seem to spend a lot of time in the arc trees. And they're not coming any closer to the tree line. They're very, very wary, whatever they are.
Aside from the sounds of nature, do we hear anything? Mechanical, industrial?
No. All you got is soft wind. You got the lapping of the waves, which Esteban's walking towards now, and in the very far distance, you can hear creatures cawing. It's very jungle sort of sounds. Imagine a more sort of synthwave version of the jungle sounds from the film Predator. So that's all off in the distance. And you can hear all the cawing, and those sounds are starting to return now that the ship's landed and you're not causing a ruckus anymore. But yeah, it's and there's the soft wind as well. The mountains themselves, in the distance, every now and then you can see dark clouds behind the mountains, and every now and then you hear this soft rumble, almost like thunder. That seems to be quite consistent.
All right. Well, I'll follow behind our local scientist, making sure he doesn't die.
I'm going to be collecting water samples, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I've got like little test tube things like
You've got loads of equipment. You've got a metric ton of science equipment for sampling, for monitoring, and everything. So
cool.
Yeah, you are required to collect at least 200 different examples of biological and geological interest, as well as place meteorological and seismic sensors at least 400 kilometers from your landing site. So yeah, you do have some jobs to do.
Yeah. Okay. So as the Vaughn approaches from behind, I'm kind of squinting up in the sun and a big grin on my face. I just kind of say, "It's beautiful, isn't it?"
You've seen one rock, you've seen them all.
That's not very poetic, Mr. Thompson.
I'm just hired to make sure you guys stay alive.
Imp slowly makes his way, kind of extending out and just checking out, especially towards the tree line, trying to figure out assess the creatures and the threat.
The majority of the
seeing
creatures
if they react to them.
Yeah, the majority of the creatures that you see are mainly sort of insect-like. So you've got your standard things like creepy crawlies, sort of centipedes kind of things. There's a weird centipede, sort of millipede-looking thing, which is in segments, and it's just sort of going along, but it seems to have every couple of inches, it's got like one large leg. So it's sort of crawling along with the little legs, and every now and then it'll pick itself up with a large leg and walk, and then set itself down again on certain parts of the tree, which is peculiar in itself. And then there's these things like 8-legged ants, which shoot out this. They're only small, probably about the size of a penny, but they shoot out this viscous, like Spider-Man things out their mouths, and then sort of we stick something and they pull themselves up. And that's like this tree. There's hundreds of them just shooting these things out, traveling up the tree. It's really weird to look at. But at the moment, there's nothing larger than your hand as far as creatures are concerned, and they're staying well away from you.
Okay.
Tony, what are you doing? I think I would have come out last after make sure they all had the rebreathers and the cookies, and then getting the gloves and extra bits on. So I've been astonished by the view. I think I would probably help with the gathering of samples. To be fair, I probably won't touch anything. It'll be more scanning things. So it's just getting as close as I can to things and just scanning them like where I can, but not touching.
Can you do me a favour then with your scanner as you're doing this without touching anything? Can you roll a science roll +1 to your science roll, to your science score, because you've got your hand scanner?
Okay.
And can you roll a d12 against it, please?
So +1 is 9. Ooh, 11. So that's over.
That's over. Yeah. Your scanner is bleeping that there's something huge in the vicinity, a very, very large life form. But there's a little bit of interference. Maybe you're not using it right because you rolled higher than your skill score. And basically, you're sort of looking around. So, yeah, you've got this warning that there's something huge out there, but it's not giving you a definitive direction.
Okay. Yeah, it'd definitely be panic and just standing up, just like, oh no, somebody, imp, like there's something near us. Look, see, there's a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere.
So thing there goes there.
So Imp takes a look at the good doctor's scanner, and then he kind of simultaneously takes out his blaster, but then also takes out his scanner and tries to do a scan as well.
Gotcha. Take out a hand scanner and make a roll d12. Remember to +1 to your science score, and if you can roll a d12 against that, please.
Oh yeah, we got a 3.
Brilliant.
And my science is 6, so.
you do pick up something. It's almost the size of a whale, and it's out to sea, and it's coming close. It's heading towards the shore at quite a rate of knots. And in fact, as you get the detection out to sea, probably about 2 to 250 meters, you see the water sort of start to rise up as something underneath it is pushing the water up, and then there's like blasts of water and air into the air.
Oh, there's it looks like a whale that's coming this way, and so can I get a reading for whether this is I mean, what kind of information is available through the scanners as far as the makeup of this creature?
The same as it did with those other creatures. It can't give you a description, but it can give you size and estimated weights depending on the actual size and density of it. So this thing, whatever it is, by the looks of it, it's weighing upwards of 100 tons. So it's absolutely huge. And it's around about 30 meters long, 30 to 35 meters long. You're getting a bit of a strange reading. There's like I say, the problem that Megan was having was the fact that she was getting a bit of interference on a scanner, and you're getting the same. But it's about 100 tons, probably about 30, 35 meters long. It's probably moving at the better part of like 20 kilometers an hour. So it's shifting at quite a speed under the water. In fact, most creatures don't move that fast in the water.
Moving about, or it seems like it's coming towards us.
It's coming towards your landing sites, but as you're looking out to sea, it looks like it's going to hit the beach to your left, or at least come as close as it can. Like I said, the ocean itself literally starts where the water does. It literally just drops down. So there's no gradual sort of lowering into the water.
Ooh.
So I relay that to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go on. No, I was done. Go on.
Yeah, I relay that to the team, and hey, we might want to get into a bit of a defensive position here, just in case. We don't know what kind of a threat, how this is going to react to us, or exactly what it is.
I mean, something that big might have to use shipboard weaponry.
Somebody get on board. I'll go.
I mean, I take it we can see this thing approaching, right?
Well, you can now. The actual water itself is sort of heaving up slightly, and you can see like a greyish black colour shape starting to break through the surface of the water.
I'm standing up, and I'm just keeping my eyes on this thing as I start to back away. We should probably move.
Yeah.
It'd probably be advisable to maybe head back toward the ship because, I don't. He looks at his blaster. I don't think that's going to do into that thing.
Yeah. A bit big, mate.
I mean, in terms of the size of the ship, is this thing bigger? Or as big as
no,
the
it's not bigger than your ship. Your ship's about 50 meters, so it's about half the size of your ship, or just a little, probably about 2/3 of the size of your ship. But they're
it's still significant.
Sorry.
Size.
Yeah. I was going to say, Vaughn's right. The pistol, something that size, it's not built for those kind of targets.
I yell everybody, listen back into the ship, and he just hoofs over there and gets to where he can get to like the shipboard weaponry.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Pretty much as soon as you get on the ship. Sorry, Tony, go on.
No, I was just literally oh my god. Then Megan's just like running, just like no.
Megan's already gone. Oh no, my cookies. So you sort of run on board. Vaughn, you get on board literally as soon as you get in there. The gunwale's to your left. So you jump in the seat, and that automatically lifts you up into the gunwale. And then I don't know what you got. What the other guys doing? What's Esteban and Imp doing?
Esteban, I think, is running up the beach. I think I'd be.
What, towards it?
No. I'd up towards the tree line.
Yeah.
Kind of just trying to get along. This thing is in the water, so there's a good chance that it's actually marine life.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I think I'd quite like to get a look at the thing as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on the ship because, I mean, that's just me being a bit meta, but it sounds pretty big, and if it lands on a ship, it might do some serious damage. So I'm not.
Like I say, it's not heading towards the ship. It's heading towards a bit further down.
So it's not even close then to the ship.
Looking at the readings, it'll probably, if it does hit the beach, it'll be about 50 to 60 meters away from the ship.
Oh, in that case. So perhaps I'm going to go underneath the ship so I can get a good view of it.
Yeah.
As it comes out of the water. That's what I'll be wanting to do.
as everybody gets into position, it breaches the water, and it is, like I say, it's absolutely massive. And it's sort of at the very last minute before it reaches the shore, before it reaches the ocean itself, it disappears under the water. And then there's a brief moment of about 4 or 5 seconds, and then it sort of literally just bursts from the water like a leaping whale. Well, that's basically what it is. And it comes out and then slams like a sponge onto the beach itself. And there's water and sand. And the sand's a peculiar sort of off sort of brown colour. Well, it's the colour of sand basically. So it slams down onto the beach, and that sort of sprays in different directions. And it looks like a whale, and it has a weird long thin fin going down its back, which looks like its only form of propulsion. That's still waving backwards and forwards. It tapers off into a thin tail at the back, so it's kind of like a stretched out teardrop shape. And then its mouth, you don't see any eyes. You do see lots of slits along what is supposed to be its forehead. And then its mouth is like a whale shark, so it's absolutely huge. I mean, it's sort of like it's taking in gulps of air almost. And then as it's lying there, it's not looking at you, it's looking at the forest directly ahead of it. And then as it's lying there, its belly seems to swell. And then all these tentacles and what have you literally just come slopping out, almost like it's projecting its own intestines out onto the beach. They all splash out down the length of its underbelly, and then they start writhing, and it's actually moving the creature along the beach. And as it gets close to the tree, it opens its maw, and there's rows of teeth inside, almost like a sandworm. And then it literally starts consuming those arc trees, and then just slowly starts to disappear off. All we can hear is the slopping of the tentacles, and then the smashing and crunching of the trees, and then loads of creatures and flying creatures and whatever stop. They're basically just getting the hell out of its way, and they all start flying off in different directions. It kind of leaves a trail behind it of slime, like a snail, and a long trough in the sand. But then it's literally chomping. With one chomp, it's taking in 2 or 3 trees at a time, and it's basically just making its way. And then after a few moments, it's nothing but the sound of crashing trees in the distance.
Mm-hmm. Well, I follow
Imp turns to S.
Sorry, Max, what was that?
I'm just saying, he's just following with a gun. And it's kind of like, all right, it's out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to target a computer for this. There's no way you're going to miss. So you get you get the lock, and you sort of tracking it with your double barrels. But it seems to be no threat, and it's gone for the trees. It's just chowing down on the trees, and then you see its tail disappear, and then it's gone. You can see where it is though from where you are. Literally, all you need to do is just follow the sign of all the animals getting the hell out of the way and going off in the distance as it disappears towards the mountains.
Wow.
Cool.
Tim says, "Oh, that was interesting." As he's continuing to scan it, and actually takes a bit of a like a half step, just kind of moving towards his direction. He's kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah.
So what do you make of that, Phillips?
I don't know, incredible, isn't it? And I don't know, can my hand scanner also be like taking video footage of this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so he'd been holding that out, like,
yeah.
And so perhaps he's, without really thinking, he's stepping forward also, just trying to keep an angle on this thing as he's filming it, and he's just in awe with a massive grin on his face. Incredible, isn't it? Amazing.
Science.
Science, the more you know. And it's weird as well. Your hand scanner's going off. It's actually detecting like an oxygen. It's almost as if there's an oxygen leak. And looking at your hand scanner, there's where it's chomping on the trees, the air has suddenly become thick with rich oxygen, which is really peculiar.
Oh, as part of its digestive process, no doubt.
It's carbon.
Oh, yeah.
Oxygen. That's cool.
Wow.
Not bad. It eats the trees and farts oxygen. That's definitely in our favor.
If there's enough of them, they're probably terraforming the entire planet.
Well, imagine that could be scientific study, especially they can synthetic a creature like that can actually produce oxygen for way on planets that don't have it, or at least you terraform the planet.
So, in terms of the atmosphere itself,
yeah,
I mean it's kind of breathable, but is it quite thin? Then is that
it is breathable, but it's a kind of thick air. So right. it's like breathing. You know when you're outside and it's too hot, and every time you take a breath, it's a little bit vapourish.
Yeah.
God, just talking about it makes me want to take a deep breath. Fucking hell. So it's yeah, you sort of it's kind of like that, but it's also poisonous. So so you don't want to breathe it for too long. But they do say as soon as they get a handle on what this new bacteria, what this poison is, they should quite easily synthesize a vaccination which people can take on the planet, which will help them. And then you can just walk around without a mask on. That's normal. But at the moment, yeah, wear your mask.
So that creature, John, it was clearly just eating the trees and vegetation, or was it also taking in the animal life?
No, not as far as you can see. I mean, if any of the insects, the slower moving insects, were unfortunate enough to stay on the trees, then they're done for. But everything else that's movable, it moves out of its way. What it's eating seems to be indiscriminate. It's literally just walking in a straight line and just consuming whatever's in front of it.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything to worry about that. Vaughn, inputs his blaster away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he leaves his ship. He says like, well, if we needed a way to get through this jungle area, we might as well follow his trail because at least gives us a wide berth to go through.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We need to get at least 400 meters out, start placing some of these sensors down. So that's a great idea. We could follow the trail this creature's making. That way we could clear the 400 meters pretty sharpish, I think.
On the ship, you do have two-seater air bikes, which are pretty quick, and they have a flight ceiling of 100 meters. And they've got a range of 1,000 kilometers.
I mean, we could perhaps use one of those as a spotting vehicle. If somebody was to climb above the tree line, they may see if any more of these things are approaching. If anybody's on the ground, they could be warned.
Yes, I think it'd be quite interesting to see how many of these tracks have been left. Because I mean, if this only happens on rare occasion that all the vegetation is able to grow back, then it's a very rare phenomenon that we've actually seen it come out of the ocean to do this.
I mean, we have no idea how quickly the flora grows on this planet, Doctor. But yes, I agree.
Do we know how large the landmass is? Is this like an island, or is it more of a continental land?
This where you've landed is probably about the size of New Zealand. So yeah, it is huge. It is mountainous around the edges and very down the centre, but almost the entire island is covered in this thick jungle.
Is this the largest landmass on the planet? I assume that's why
but it's the safest to land at.
Okay.
I'm willing to hop on one of the bikes and follow behind it. I think we need to make sure we keep the ship protected and not send all our officers into death, right?
I mean, if you're willing to take the cool scientist, he pats him on the back out there and drop off some of the sensors, it would probably be professional. I can keep an eye out.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't see too much from 100 meters. I can't get up close to some of these things. I mean, perhaps if you act as a scout of some kind, that would be useful.
Well, I mean, if it flies, you both ride it, and he can go a lower speed on the ground enough where you can actually land if you needed to.
I mean,
how's your driving skill there, Vaughn?
Mine's 6. So.
50.
Yeah.
Okay, mine's a 5. Yeah.
These machines are very similar to the ones we had back at the station. I mean, very simple to drive. I don't know. It's just very easy.
Imagine them, touring bikes. The big two-seaters, like the I can't remember what they're called now. Like the big touring bikes with the big seats on the back. They're kind of like that. So, except they hover because science fiction. And there's enough stuff on the back so you can get in quite a lot of equipment. But yeah, one of your jobs is to plant seismic and meteorological scanners at least 400 kilometers away from your landing site.
And how many have we got? Sorry.
We've got 2 bikes.
No, how many scanners have we got to drop?
Well,
It doesn't actually give a number because I didn't write it down. So I'm gonna say 4. They want one done in every direction.
Okay, that's
Every compass point.
makes sense. Okay.
But you said the bikes are two-seaters, so two people could go out on one bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Imp hops on. Vaughn, you probably should stay here since you know how to fly this bucket, and I can take the doctor out, and we can go have some adventures out and chasing after this thing.
Yeah, I would probably advise stay in the middle location of this creature's movement, because if you're at least in the middle, that if anything does attack you, you're not closer to one of the tree lines.
Okay. Noted.
Okay, I slowly move towards the bike that the Imp is setting up. They're setting up, and I kind of climb onto the back of it, and I must warn you, I am a terrible backseat driver.
Imp revs it a few times, looks back, gives him a bit of a smirk. Says, hang on.
It is kind of like like a chopper, the kind of tall handlebars, kind of Harley Davidson kind of thing, just for ease of use mainly. But yeah, it's a good bike. They can do 140 kilometers an hour, so which is quite handy
that's
at top
pretty nice.
speed. But they're quite flimsy, so it's like a normal bike. You don't want to crash it.
No.
So it's
flimsy. It's not duct tape and keeping us together, is it?
Yeah, and pieces of chewing gum. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
No sudden movements.
Yeah, just don't ride it. I think it was my advice. No, it's yeah.
I tried.
Yeah. So who's following? Who's following the creature?
Imp and I guess Esteban.
And Esteban.
Dr.
Yeah.
Phillips. Yeah.
Vaughn, what are you doing?
I'm gonna stay with the ship with the doctor, and we see if we can probably get some local scans, I guess, so from the natural vegetation about.
Sure. Okay. No problem. So you guys jump on the on the bike.
And Dr. Payne, I didn't quite finish the water samples. If you wouldn't mind finishing those up for me, and we can take a look at them when I get back.
How do you mean you didn't finish them? You took some water out. That's all you needed then?
Very well. I mean, whatever. Yes. We'll see you soon, no doubt.
Imp says, just save us some cookies till we get back.
Don't count on it.
All right,
Yeah.
and he starts to throttle it up, but not too quickly, right? He's just trying to keep a reasonable distance between where the creature went in. And so, do we still have a visual on this creature? Or is it?
Oh yeah, it's going about walking speed. So.
Oh, okay.
It's making good headway. Sort of not power walking. It's not running, but it's doing good speed. Probably about 6 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
If you could get ahead of it, perhaps we could get some footage of it actually feeding.
Or perhaps we could become the dessert afterwards.
No, come on now. Where's your sense of adventure?
Okay, so Imp, this could get dangerous real fast. Imp gives a bit of a rev, they kind of lurch forward a bit, looking back. Yeah. Is that what you want, Doctor?
just not too fast.
You've got to be careful. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and as they're moving away, they look back and they see Dr. Phillips just making his face like, oh my God, there goes half our crew.
You've got to be careful because it's coming through these. Remember that the rubber trees, they're sort of arced and they're sort of bent over and they're actually huge, like 20, 30 meters high in the air. But every now and then, it will only chomp off the end of one, and then the rest of it springs up into the air, almost like, and then starts waving about, like one of those inflatable dudes going, "Wah!" So and then it slowly starts to settle again. So that could be a little bit dangerous, which is why I'm going to ask you to make a driving roll. So D12 against your.
I believe in you.
Well, that makes one of us. Oh my gosh.
Did you roll?
I rolled an 11. I rolled an 11 and my skill is a 5. So yeah, we're off. So
literally,
basically, I forgot to put the kickstand up, and we've already flopped over on our side.
Yeah. I just want to check. You do know how to fly one of these things, don't you?
Oh no, this is you getting in front of it. This is you already following it. So this is you getting in front of it, and one of these trees springing up. So yeah, that springs up in your direction and manages to catch the bike. Now your bike has. Let's have a look here. Now your body has 2 stats, and these are speed and body. Basically, when you're creating the vehicles, you have 10 points to split up between the two. So you can be really fast but quite thin-skinned, or really slow and quite thick-skinned. So the body is basically the hit points, and you will be taking. Look at my dice. There it is. D4 damage to the vehicle.
Ooh.
You're taking 3 points of damage. 2 points of damage. D3. I rolled a 6. What's that then? That's 2 points of damage.
1 is 5.
1 to 3.
No,
4,
1
5,
is
6.
4. 2 is 5, and 3 is 6.
That's it.
So it's
it's 2 points of damage. So it's my own game, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So yeah, you take 2 points of damage. So you got 1 point left. So the bike is hit. Bits of panels come flying off, and it sort of skews slightly. But you're not dropping out the air anytime soon. Put it that way. But it will need repairing. So I don't know who's got the engineering skill.
The mechanical skill, not me.
I got a 4.
Yeah.
I got some in that, but yeah.
Yeah, I got some points in it.
Yeah. But yeah, so the
bike's loose. I had no choice. I had to put some points in it. It's the rule.
It was your idea.
Yeah.
Just for the ship's logs, it was the good doctor's idea.
It's all recorded, and so yeah. But yeah, hits the bike.
I didn't realise he was a hopeless pilot at the time. I kind of thought he might be half competent.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. Do you want to carry on flying ahead of the creature?
So the tentacles, where are those coming out of the front of the creature, the side, or kind of all over?
All along what passes through its belly. So by the looks of it, from what you can see, it's got like slits going down the belly, going from what you can tell from the scanner, what you can see, and these slits have opened, and then these tentacles have come out. They probably stay closed when it's under the water to give it, so it's more streamlined. But at the moment, they're literally just coiling and uncoiling, which basically is pushing it along.
Yeah, so it's pure. They're purely for locomotion. They're not like grabbing things and dragging it to the mouth. Or
no, not at all. It's just for locomotion. Its mouth is doing more than enough. But by the looks of it, it's taking in these trees. It takes in a huge mouthful and will then crunch. And then you see it's like the front end of it working, as it's obviously crunching them down, and it just smashes through the trees that are in the way. And then it opens its mouth again and starts taking even more. But you do notice that it is moving in a kind of a strange directions. It's actually following the arc trees. It's leaving all the other trees alone. It's just going for the arc trees.
Yeah. If you could just hold it steady, Imp, that'd be useful.
Yeah, well, I'm trying the best I can. I hope you got the footage you wanted the business end, because I think I'm going to be easing off a bit here.
No. Carry on.
Carry on. We've still got 1 point of body left. You'll be fine.
I mean, I'm assuming the bike's actually looking pretty wrecked by now because
it's a bit bad. Right? Yeah, no, you don't want to get smacked by a rubber tree.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps that's a good idea. Or maybe you could get further ahead, out of the reach of whatever these things are.
So looking ahead, does it? How thick is the undergrowth? Am I going to have any chance of trying to navigate through this ahead of the creature?
Well, the undergrowth, you're flying above it all anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of the undergrowth goes up to about 60 or 70 meters. So a lot of the time you're going to be above it anyway. And it's quite flat for quite a few kilometers up into the bases of the mountains. But then the jungle starts to head up the mountains. And as you're looking at that, the actual creature starts to change direction. It starts to turn to its left slightly, as if it's going into an arc. And then Esteban, as you're recording, that's when you see it. Meanwhile, back at the ship, you've got Vaughn and Megan. So what were you guys doing? Vaughn, you've come down from the turret now. And Megan, what were you doing?
Well, just I would be carrying on with more scans. I think if I could, I would have a spare set of gloves.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to take a sample of the slime left over.
Yeah.
And actually test it and see what's in it, because obviously we know the planet, the air is at least filled with poison and stuff. So see if the animals contain the poison.
Yeah.
But it's literally because unless I have some tongs somewhere and I'm able to scoop it up like that, it's scoop it into a jar or two and then immediately take the gloves off and swap the gloves and just
burn them. Yeah.
To take them back, and I assume like Esteban would have requested like the microscope and all that sort of stuff. Just to have a little bit of a nosy.
Yeah, I mean, you've got loads of equipment on the ship for you to do the more detailed examinations. But gathering samples, you've got plenty of stuff for gathering samples.
Okay.
There's even a 3D printer on the ship as well, so you can actually print out new bottles and whatever equipment that you need, as long as it's not mechanical. But so you could stay here for years and get unlimited samples. So yeah, it's handy.
Yeah, and on my way back to the ship, I'm not gonna take a sample of the water, but I'll just do another little scan of close to the water, just to say that I went near it, because Esteban asked.
Take a picture of it. Yeah, I was there.
I'm sure it has the same thing.
Yeah.
But then head back.
Yeah, and Vaughn, what are you doing?
As I said, I'm basically at the ramp keeping a lookout, and just I have the ship sensors on basically an audio ping, just in case anything big comes toward us, give us a fair warning. So he just has his gun and just kind of keeping out, like it was just probably a pair of binoculars or something simple, just looking around, see what he can see.
I mean, what you see is quite immense. The binoculars are like, I don't know, times 10,000, because it's the future, and it's looking out to sea. I mean, this planet isn't as large as Earth, so the curvature is more pronounced. And looking out to sea, you don't know what's happening out there, but every now and then you'll see things breach the surface. So in the far distance, like 10 or 15 kilometers away. So you're looking at things like the creature that you've already seen. You see a weird tentacle come out and sort of wave in the air, and then slowly slip down. You see something burst from the water into the air, spread some wings, and then it then folds the wings back in. It's like a dart and goes straight into the water so smoothly, hardly leaves a ripple. The sea, apparently, by the looks of this, is actually teeming with life, and very, very large life as well. And by the looks of it, there's a lot of it out there.
I could expect that.
Yeah. And that's when you see something drop from the sky, like a small white light, and it sort of drops, and then it hits the water. There's a huge splash, of course, and then there's lots of what looks like steam, and that sort of spreads out. And then just beyond that, there's another one.
I sent a comment. It's like, it looks like there's some space rocks falling. I don't know if that's what it is, but I try to make a note where it's it's coming down.
Well, at the moment it's out to sea, and that broken moon isn't too far above you now. That's sort of done the orbit and has come around again. And as you look up, you can see little white lights, like little streaks of smoke in the sky, like small meteors. Almost directly above that, you can see the string of the broken moon.
Oh, so these are like fragments of the moon coming down.
Possibly, yeah, dropping down into the distance. But as you're watching, you can see it's getting thicker. And a few more coming down, and then there's more coming down. And according to your binoculars, it's actually getting close to the shore, and it's going on for kilometers in every direction. So it's like a huge curtain of meteorites slowly tracking their way across the water towards where you parked.
I will come over to Megan. It's like, getting in the ship. Looks like there might be a meteor storm heading this way.
Oh, okay. I just run back in.
You take your first step, and then I need you to make an agility roll.
Okay. Oh no. Okay.
What did you roll?
It was like,
I
that's
haven't
not
rolled
my
yet.
skill.
I looked at what number my skill is.
I was going to say, don't ever say, oh no.
I rolled a 12.
All right.
Ooh.
My agility
So
is
that's too
3.
high. So yeah, you majorly failed. So don't worry, you're not taking any damage yet. So as you start heading back towards the ship, it's like suddenly your right foot just stops working, and then next thing you know, because you rolled a 12, which is probably the highest fail that you can get. Sorry, you're on the floor. Your samples have spilt out. They're all in the sand. Your hand scanner's skipped. And looking around you, by looks of it, this thick tentacle has come out from under the sand and has wrapped itself around your ankle and up to your knee. And you can actually feel it constricting so much, it honestly feels like your calf's going to burst.
Oof.
Oh no!
What do you want to do?
Just shout out and what? I think the initial reaction obviously would be shout out and scream. To Vaughn, but then literally just like lean over and just start like doing that on it, just like get off. We're just whacking it. Just like get off.
Yeah.
Offer it a cookie.
Yeah. Oh, thanks very much. It just leaves you alone. Yeah.
But yeah,
Vaughn, what do you want to do?
Shout out to Vaughn. Yeah.
So I see her like fall over, and do I see that thing wrap around her leg, or do I see something?
Well, the first thing you see, you hear is her screaming and shouting as she hits the deck, and you can see it wrapped around her leg. But behind her, where she's not looking, like in an hourglass, so the sand starts to sink down. Yeah. It's doing that right behind her. So the sand is starting to sink down, like there's something underneath there, like somebody's pulled a plug and it's letting the sand drain.
Okay. How close is the other speeder to me?
Well, was that brought out? That's probably still on the ship? Did you bring both speeders off?
Yeah, I kept the other one out just in case I needed it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the other one then is virtually right next to you. You're at the bottom of the ramp, aren't you? So yeah.
All right, so I basically what it is, I jump on that and basically speed over there, and I got my pistol out and I take a shot at and see if I can see that thing.
You can see the target that you have. The tentacle is probably about a meter from her foot, from where it's coming out the sand. So you do have a good meter's target. To make you roll, as long as you don't roll a 12, then yeah, you'll have no chance of hitting her.
Okay.
He said.
Rolled a 4.
And what's your ranged combat skill?
It is a 9.
Brilliant. So yeah, you come flying up. It's a stationary target, so there's no opposed roll needed. You pull off your shot, you smack it straight in the tentacle, and it's a weird tentacle as well. It's it looks like just a normal octopus tentacle, but the suckers on it go all the way around. It's not on one side; it's all the way around, and each one is pulsating, almost like a boil. It's just it's gross. So, and instead of it hooking, by looks of it, the boils themselves are really sticky, and it's those boils. It's not suction. It's just like whatever it is they're oozing. That's what's sticking to the leg. You go blasting over the bike. You come sort of sliding sideways, Akira style, pull off your shot. You hit it with the pulse pistol, so you're rolling damage of 1d6 plus 6.
Okay.
And these meteors are getting ever closer.
That would be an 11 damage.
That's a good hit. So you swing over, you shoot it right in the thing, and you literally blow the tentacle apart. And it's kind of like a yellowy green viscous fluid. That immediately dies on the leg and comes loose. The stump that's left is flapping about. And it's like, you can feel it in your chest. It's like a vibration under your feet. There's something under the ground, like screaming in pain. And that thing that's sinking, suddenly, like jaws, comes up. Almost like shark jaws, except it's got eyes on the ends of stalks. And these, like the graboids out of Tremors, these tentacles are coming out of its mouth. And it's sort of bursting with sand and bile. It's just roaring in pain. It's about the size of a great white shark, so it's a nice large thing. And it literally just comes blasting out the sand, roaring, and its stump of one of its tentacles is flapping about. We'll go to you next, actually, Tony. This thing's just come bursting out the ground. You're now mobile again, but you're now lying on the floor. What is it you want to do?
Yeah, you see me coming with a speeder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just... So which... so it's just backing away, not even immediately trying to get up. It's just shuffling away, just getting as far away as I can from it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Probably
the bike.
Sense, but...
Yeah, Vaughn and the bike are sort of sped up next to you. So.
Yeah, so as soon as they're there, it's just like grabbing on, just still not fully getting up. It's just grabbing hold of it and just trying to pull myself up just to get away.
Okay, then I need both of you to make agility rolls. And I just need one of you to pass to hold Megan onto the back of the bike.
I did not.
All right, I got 8 out of 11.
So did you pass? Sorry.
I did pass. I got an 8 out of 11.
Okay, brilliant.
Nice.
Yeah, you grab hold of Megan, you pull her onto the back of the bike. This thing slams onto the ground, and it's got like almost like crab legs underneath it. It sort of pushes itself up to a height, and it's still sort of there. It's sort of roaring, and these things are flashing about. And as it takes a step towards you, a meteor smashes straight through its skull and blows its brains apart. Its eyes pop out, and it just slumps dead. And next thing you know, there's meteors dropping all around you.
Oh,
suddenly, then we go back to Mark and to Esteban and Imp. Esteban, you see it. First of all, it feels like there's you get that feeling that you get like this storm coming, and there's like the feeling of thunder, the thickness of the air, and the what have you. It feels a bit like that. But literally, as the bike goes over the canopy, suddenly it looks like there's a dip in the ground, and it looks like a huge. It's difficult to explain. Imagine a beehive, the honeycomb of a beehive, or basically, better still, actually ants' nests, except these are huge. The openings are like 10, 15 meters wide. It's like a honeycomb effect, and it goes on. But each one is almost a perfect hexagon as the entrance. So it's like the entrance to a beehive. They're random, but they go off in the distance for about 2 or 3 kilometers, like a huge circular area, and that's what you're flying over at the moment. And that's what the creature has turned, and now it's sort of going in an arc away, obviously staying away from this honeycomb thing. And then as you sort of blast over it, you can see these dozens of these creatures along the mouth of the honeycombs, and they've got sort of long, elongated heads, a bit like Geiger's alien, except they've got just straightforward torsos with what looks like a thorax, not a thorax, the arse end of an ant, basically. And then they've got these 4 huge, powerful. Each one's like a grasshopper leg, and it's just rows of teeth. It's literally half the head, and they obviously can see this creature sort of touching, and they obviously want to defend where they are. And they're all screeching and shouting, and these long whip-like tongues are sort of coming out, and sort of. And then one of them, it's almost like you lock eyes, and it's like the first time you've seen each other, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And this thing's like, "Oh, breakfast." And its back splits open, and it unfurls these 2 huge wings, and almost immediately leaps into the air, and it's buzzing towards you like this giant dragonfly. It's got like 4 wings beating in different angles, and it's just weird as shit. So and it's screeching. The sound that it's making, you can feel it resonating through your skull as it comes blasting towards it, and that's almost like each one of these things is about 2 meters long, and that's kind of like a charge call to all the creatures behind it, and then the next thing they take up this chorus, and all these are launched themselves off the ground as well. They're about 200 meters, 250 meters away from you.
I tap Imp on the shoulder. Yeah.
Look, I want to turn around.
You might want to speed up a little bit. I know I was telling you to slow down a little bit earlier, but I want you to speed up now, very quickly.
Okay, so
and just look down.
And we don't see any of these meteor things that the other 2 are experiencing, right?
Not yet. No,
thank goodness.
You're a couple of clicks into the forest.
We get to deal with them in a minute.
Yeah. We like our danger in single doses.
Yeah. Too bad.
Wow. All right. So evasive. Geez, I can't even say it. Evasive maneuvers. That's going to be driving, agility, or some blend of both.
At the moment, if you're just going to drive it, it's going to be just the normal straightforward. And any maneuvers that you make on a vehicle, it's always going to be drive vehicle. So, these things are, like I say, they're gain. In fact, they're moving really quickly. You can actually hear the buzz of the wings as they're blasting through the air.
And just out of interest, the nearest edge of this honeycomb thing is back the way we came, right? I would assume.
Yeah, but as you were going along, you could see it in front of you. It kind of came up on you quite quickly. So,
I'll probably be asking him to turn around then as well, because I don't want to be driving over this thing if they're going to be sending loads and loads more of these things out after us. It might.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, yep. So I'm gonna peel around and not try to get closer to the giant creature, but just try to be evasive from the attacking creatures.
Yeah, gotcha. So you spin around. Some of the creatures, obviously, they're screeching at the whale thing. That's there, and they start heading towards that. And then those valves on the side of the creature that were blowing the water out earlier, they then start blowing water out still at these creatures. And there's this god awful stench. I mean, it's just like it just makes you want to vomit really badly. And that seems to be driving a lot of the creatures. The spell itself is moving, making the creatures stay away. But some of them are getting close and jabbing their jaws into it and literally just ripping chunks out of the surface of this creature as it's trying to get away. I mean, your vehicle's fast, but it's also damaged. So yeah, you're going to have to. Well, they're coming straight at you. So what is it you want to do?
Is pedal faster. It's like Fred and Barney. Okay.
Okay. Well, make yourself a dry vehicle roll then. Let's do some avoiding. Mark, is there anything that you want to do, Esteban, on the back of the vehicle?
I don't know if there's much that I can do or can think to do.
You
at
have
the
a
moment.
pulse
I guess. That's a good point. That is a good
take
point.
a
Perhaps I can try and deter a few of them by firing randomly into the crowd.
Yeah.
That's chasing us.
Okay. Well, first of all,
Imp says, "Gee, I don't remember this being on the tour, but okay."
Yeah, it wasn't
You
on the
paid extra for
brochure.
it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
this is all free of
All right.
charge.
So I'll make my driving. I make
Yeah,
my
make-
driving roll, and I just missed it. I needed a 5, and I got a 6.
Well,
Boy,
okay,
we're
you
off
turn
to
around
a
and blast.
splendid start.
Yeah.
You're trying to get
mean-
some speed up, but the vehicle's chunking along because somebody told you to fly in front of the big giant creature. So it's not responding as quick as you'd like, and in fact these creatures are gaining. The bike feels like it's struggling to get up to speed.
One of us left to get off.
Yeah. Oh shit! I can't drive. So Esteban, what do you want to do?
I'm firing back into this crowd, trying to deter them a little, if I may.
Okay, they've got these weird proboscis. I mean, there's rows of teeth, but there's a gap at the front where there's no teeth, and they've got these weird proboscis that whip out, which is kind of like a hummingbird's tongue. It's kind of like that. So it's long and it sort of whips out from a coil, and you can see at the end of it there's these nasty little hooks, and that's what it's doing with the creature. It's sort of attaching themselves onto the creature with the hooks, pulling themselves in, ripping a chunk out, and then flying off with other bits hanging off the end of this tongue with whale blubber in their mouths. It's foul. Okay. The stench is getting thicker and it's making your eyes water. So anyway, sorry, are you shooting directly at one, or are you?
I think.
I'm not sure they respond to a warning shot.
There's kind of a few. There's a few of them coming towards us, aren't they? So I don't know. Maybe if I can hit some wings, maybe it might slow them down. And
okay, well, make a pulse pistol shot.
Yeah. So ranged combat, yes.
Ranged combat, D12.
Okay.
You will be rolling against their agility because they're obviously flying, and their agility is a number which I gave to them when I designed them, and their agility is actually 9. So to hit, oh god, that's a shit roll. You'll need an 11 or more to hit. So you're rolling a D12 and adding your ranged combat.
This is going great.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 3 for a total of 8.
Brilliant. Okay, you pull off the shot. The beam goes searing past them, but then let's do a reaction. Oh, I'll drop that on the floor and let me get another one.
That's the reaction.
Yeah. Oh shit! I'll drop that on the floor as well. Hang on, let me get another one.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm going to roll it over here this time. There we go. Okay, that does scare quite a few of them. They've never seen a pulse pistol beam before, so they're like, "What the hell?" And they sort of scatter off in those different directions, screeching. It almost sounds like confusion. But there are 2 which aren't giving up, and they're still coming in at a rate of knots.
That's better 2 than anything.
Yeah. The others have peeled off and they've headed down towards the east target. Yeah.
So as we're moving away, so John, as we're moving away from their hive or whatever, the burrow, I mean, does it seem like they're kind of backing off and they were just merely reacting defensively, or are they still being really aggressive?
Oh, being really aggressive. This obviously this creature, this whale thing, has obviously sent them into a bit of a frenzy, and they're just going nuts. And now, looking back on it, they're swarming over it as much as they possibly can. And all you can hear these plaintive wails of this, literally the wails of the whale, as it sort of obviously is getting massive chunks torn out of it. And after a little while, because you're heading away from it, it goes eerily quiet, and all you can hear is the screeching and the wailing of these creatures. Mark, you can take another shot if you want to. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. Imp, can you make another drive roll, please?
Oh,
one
I'm hoping that Dr. Phillips doesn't say we need to free Willy.
One of these creatures comes swooping in.
Oh,
you're going to need to beat. It's an opposed roll. You're going to have to beat 7.
That didn't happen.
Oh shit! So this creature comes screeching down.
I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8.
Yeah.
No, you've got to roll high.
No, we've got to roll high for combat. It's roll high.
You're rolling a d12 and adding your drive skill.
Oh. So
so
I roll. Yeah. Oh, got it. Now I misunderstood. So I got it.
No.
Oh, so I got a 13.
Oh, brilliant! In that case, this thing comes screeching at you, all 4 claws extended, proboscis whipping around like Indiana Jones's favourite toy, and then you sort of basically just you just shift the bike, sort of like a mid-air slide, and it completely misses and goes crashing into the foliage below you. But there is another one. I don't know if Esteban wants to do something about that one.
Yeah, I would love to do something about that. I just don't think I'm capable.
What do you want to do?
Shoot the thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to jump off the bike. Okay, no worries then. Okay, go for it. You're going to need to hit this time. Again, 11 again. Come on.
Perfect.
You can do it, Mark. We believe in you.
I rolled a 10 plus
Brilliant.
5, 15. Yay!
It's a hit.
Yeah, it's a hit.
God. It's a hit. No, actually, no, it didn't go in. It just impacted on the surface. No, actually, no, sorry.
See what you did there?
You see what I did there? Love it. So, yeah, it's pulse pistol damage. So roll 1d6 plus 6. And if you roll a 5 or a 6, I'd be really happy.
I didn't. I rolled a 3 plus 6,
okay,
9.
Well, that's enough of a sort. You blast away at it, you catch it. Actually, roll a d12. If you roll a 1 to 3, you've actually hit it in one of its wings.
Oh, okay. I've rolled 11.
Brilliant. You hit it in the area of the body where it does the least effective damage. So, yeah, you blast it. Obviously, it's in a lot of pain. It screeches, but it made quite a high roll, so it's not giving up. It's obviously very angry. Obviously, these things take it personally. And it sort of wheels up in the air and sort of just this very pretty sort of spin, and then starts diving back down towards you. And then meanwhile, back at the beach, you've managed to get onto the bike. This thing is now lying dead, and it's getting peppered. And all around you are meteors slamming into the ground, creating craters probably about 2 or 3 meters across. It's almost like watching a wall of rainfall, but deadly rocks falling from space. So it's all slamming into the ground. This horrible sound of whistling and thumping and all sorts. So you need to get back to the cover of the ship. So I'm going to ask you to make a drive roll, please. And you describe to me how it is you get the bike back to the ship. You can go as full on Akira as much as you want.
Up in there, and I'm going as fast as I can.
Go for it. Make you roll.
I rolled a 1, which is you got to roll less than your skill, right?
Yeah, if it's a normal skill roll, you're just rolling less than your skill. So that one is the best you can roll.
1.
Brilliant. So you do a flip, do a kick flip, you're fine. You do a 180 in the air, you're fine. Now you basically just spin the bike around, and as you're screaming back towards the ship and all around you, and you're sort of skipping sideways left to right as these rocks are slamming down to the ground around you, sending up fountains of smoke and sand, and then you're under the boat. As soon as the first meteor hits, the boat's automatic shields come on. It's got basic shields for space debris. So as soon as you get under the ship, all you can see is the shimmering blue light of all the impacts of all around the ship. They seem to be coming down at terminal velocity, but that's not going to be enough to break through your standard shield. They're only small, probably the largest meteors the size of a fist, of a tennis ball. So it's the ship. You've been treated to a nice blue laser show as the shields are impacted all over constantly.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I think Megan just literally jump off, like keel over, panting a little bit, just like trying to make sense of it, because I'm guessing there's like plenty of room to actually stand up below the ship.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's about 5 or 6 meters from the landing legs to the hull of the ship.
But I think, and then once that's like it's kind of worn off, a different kind of panic sets in. It's like, what about the other guys? What about Imp and
the other man?
Esteban.
As he's sitting there, he's like, "Hey, you got a
I
little
see
something on your
my
leg,"
notes back up.
and he comes into Imp in the dock, and is like, "Hey, there's a meteor swarm coming our way. I'm gonna jump on the ship, and we're gonna fly your way."
This is all happening simultaneously, so by the time you get back to the ship, out there, they've probably just come across the honeycombs. So as you're riding up the ramp and securing the bike. So as you guys are getting attacked by these flying creatures, then you get somebody's trying to calm you. Not now, Karen.
So,
can you hear me?
Oh, I mean, you took a mirror down.
Oh, sorry, it was me.
Yeah,
No,
sorry, mate. Yeah, so, well, Mark and Jerome. Well, sorry, Esteban and Imp.
Esteban and Imp. So we are racing back now towards the ship.
Yeah.
This thing is still chasing us.
Yeah, just the one.
Well, somewhat. It's more.
Do you have any fancy? Do you have any fancy maneuvers that you can use there? Imp? Is that
I still might have a few tricks up my sleeve that are sure to fail. But I mean, so if the flying creatures start peeling off, Imp is going to try to still stay within proximity, because we have a mission to do, set out the sensors, but also not get consumed. So
yeah. Well, at the moment,
like
all those creatures have gone off to sort of feed on that whale thing, and then other creatures. But then you notice, actually, Mark, this creature screaming towards you, and then suddenly it stops, sort of back flaps, sort of to slow itself down, and it's looking out towards where, sort of, the direction of where your ship is. And then its tone changes, it screeches, and it's really, it's not high pitched, but it's like a as if, it's like a pissed off velociraptor. So it's literally just sort of hooting, and then it sort of turns and then starts heading back towards the honeycombs.
So looking back, I just smile and grimly and turn around and say, "Looks like we've frightened it off." And then I look it ahead.
And then there's a wall of meteors starting to head towards you. And you see them slamming into the trees, and there's the arc trees are being ripped to pieces and all flying in all directions. But then suddenly, it's getting quite murky now. There's all smoke and steam. And then suddenly bursting out the steam, at the pilot's controls, comes the bake-off. As he comes literally just blasting through the smoke, because
I thought he was the limbo guy.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, he goes under the smoke then. So, upside down. With maracas. So he comes blasting out. Vaughn, I'm going to ask you to make a policy roll, please.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Imp starts humming the Benny Hill theme.
Lauren Hardy theme.
So I'm doing pretty good.
What did you roll, sorry?
2 out of 10.
Oh, brilliant. So you sort of slew the ship over. You're sort of leading the leading edge of the meteor storm. And well, I don't know, what do you want to do? You've got a hover bike below you at about 40 meters.
I basically whip around with its ass end out with the ramp still open up for them to fly in.
Okay, that's a risky maneuver. So you swing that around. Well, I'll tell you what then. If Imp and Vaughn, can you both make rolls? So Vaughn, can you make a pilot starship roll? And Imp, can you make a drive vehicle roll? And I just need one of you to succeed.
Oh, please succeed, Vaughn.
I got a 6 out of 10, so
oh.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah, you sort of angle the ship. You notice at the last minute that the bike probably isn't going to quite make it, but then you sort of drop the arse end just a little bit more, and then 150 meters in the air. Well, sorry, 100 meters in the air, and it's completely against regulation. So chances are your licenses are going to be revoked. But
Perfect.
yeah, the bike goes up the ramp and it gets caught by the cargo net, an automatic emergency cargo net. You slam into, and then next thing you know, there's blue lights all outside as the meteors start to impact all over the vessel. And it doesn't last for very long, actually. Probably about 2 or 3 minutes. It's like just a wall of meteors. And then after it passes you, as it reaches just the edge of where the honeycombs are, it starts to peter out. And only a few are landing around where the honeycombs are. So they've obviously built the honeycombs there for a reason in that particular place. And then that's all there is now is lots of smoke, lots of steam. As the sun begins to dip over the horizon, as it starts to head towards dusk. It looks like a scene of devastation, but very slowly below you can see life starting to return quite quickly to the jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I probably fly it back where we were and just land it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, walk out. I was like, hey, so how was your trip? Was it eventful as ours?
Oh no, nothing really to note. And then Imp turns back to Phillips and said, "Yeah, we need to get some shields on these bikes."
Yeah, I'm not sure I can recommend this planet for colonization. But good flying, Mr. Imp.
But I do check over Megan and to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
But so there's still left of that tentacle of that creature on her leg, or is that just fell off?
No, that just fell off. That's weird sort of viscous liquid that was sticking to it. It is like glue, and if you hold your fingers together, it starts to act like super glue. You can actually feel your skin sticking together. So it was obviously using that as to hold on to.
Well, I mean, weird. At least there's samples on that.
And it smells. She's covered in samples, but
yeah, I know exactly.
It smells of cinnamon, so which is quite pleasant. As you're all sort of in the cockpit sort of area, looking outside, suddenly the edge of the forest bursts open, and that whale creature, covered in bites and gouges and meteor impacts, comes flopping out of the forest. It makes its way. It's moaning softly, but it's alive. And it makes its way to the edge of the sea, and then it slowly slips into the sea. And then a few seconds later, you see its surface, and it blows out air, and then it disappears again. It starts heading back out to sea. So even through all the hardship and the death and the danger, there's always hope for life. And that is where I'm going to leave it. And welcome to your first day on Golf Alpha Tango.
Wow.
Only 269 more to go. It's fine.
I'm sure we'd survive.
Imp looks over at Dr. Payne and says, "Did you save any cookies?"
I think there's still some left over, but yeah. But hey, at least if the body's still intact from that one creature that attacked Megan, we probably could do some something on it.
Yeah, oh yeah, you've got an entire body out there to do an autopsy and do some checking and that sort of stuff. So, but yeah. So that, folks, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that is the game Deep Space. That's cool. A taster of it, and that's a taster of the first adventure, exploring Golf Alpha Tango. So yeah, there you have it.
That was really cool.
Excellent.
Thanks.
I had a lot of fun. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
That was great.
Thanks, John.
No, thanks, guys. And oh my lord, I've gone very dark all of a sudden. Oh, that's weird. So I should have just gone like this. I'm just a floating head. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I look like the guy of the Dragon Strike video. Yeah. So
it's Holly. Holly from Red Dwarf. That's why.
Yeah.
Right.
What's up, dudes? Yeah. They're all dead, Dave. So yeah, that's Deep Space. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along and playing, and thank you for watching, whether you're watching this now or in the future. I hope that gives you a nice taste of what the game has to offer. There's loads more you can do with it. This was just a tiny slice of life. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.